a crime, again, despite only being in the country for 12 months.
Sure, let me just interrupt. First, we're not supposed to call them illegal aliens, then it's illegals, then it's undocumented, then it's migrants. This is all UN terms to teach us to be under a global government where we're all poor and stupid except for the elite. How about the new word be little precious angel darlings? So little precious angel darlings, the new word is not migrant, folks. It's little angel cake, darling, perfect sweetie pies. Go ahead, Paul.
And again, you know, we spoke to the guy from Nepal yesterday. That's a video that everyone should check out on the Alex Jones channel. He was a legal immigrant, came to Germany to stay in Dresden, has been here for 4 years, speaks perfect German, speaks perfect English, and he's not happy about the way, for example, that Pegida being characterized by the media. He's not happy about the amount of people being brought into the country. And listen to this statement from the spokeswoman for the German Interior Minister. This is what she said when these new stats came out. Quote, immigrants are not as criminal as Germans. How's that for a statement when it came out that they're responsible for twice the number of crimes in respect to their population?
And that's with police whitewashing. In Sweden, the police were ordered, if it's a migrant of color, just say, you know, say native Swede. So they've been, even with cooked numbers, they're engaged in half.
Yeah, so again, it's all part of this re-education program. They're covering it up, they're lying to the German people, and they're now forcing, as we covered earlier, students to go and live on islands to be mistreated so they have sympathy with the migrants. So there's a massive brainwashing program going on with this. It also came out that most of the individuals responsible for the incidents in Cologne were from Tunisia, Algeria, and Morocco. So they weren't even, they were from North Africa. Again, this is the big problem that these crime statistics show, that most of the crimes are being carried out by people from North Africa, from countries like Morocco, where people go on holiday. I mean, it's not a war-torn country.
Sure, well, let me expand on this and ask you another question. You got a lot to do, a lot of articles to file, other breaking news that's just coming on Infowars.com on an hourly basis. How big a victory? Because I want us to, you know, not just be negative about what's happening. That's what the globalists are launching on all fronts because they're actually behind, in my view. How big is it, though, that Bilderberg's being exposed at a level never before seen? I'd say 3 or 4 times as much this year than before. The fact that they're running things to a great extent is happening. The fact that there is a shadow government. I mean, that always leads to the end of any shadow dictatorship as soon as the power behind the throne, as soon as the conspiracy is exposed, historically. I mean, I would say right now, we have turned the tide against the New World Order, and I think all their offensives are really defensive moves like the Nazi offensive in the Battle of the Bulge and the Ardennes.
No, that's exactly it. I mean, the headline on Drudge, which was our headline a few days ago, was populist panic. That's what they're in a panic about. You see what's going on with Trump in the United States. They don't control him. Whatever you think of his policies or his rhetoric, he's self-funded. He's outside of the control of these people. That's what makes them nervous. These people are control freaks. Any political development that they don't have their hands on, it scares them to death, which is now why we're seeing the economic threats with Brexit, because, again, that would represent a huge rejection of everything that these people have built for 50, 60 years. Remember, we got the BBC documents out from 1955, which showed that Bilderberg wanted to create the EU, wanted to create the euro single currency.
They did. These are the people charting the Anglo-American establishment that runs about 70% of the world right now and wants world government. The communist Chinese are allied with them to a limited extent because they want to run it themselves. The Russians aren't. And I'm not saying the Russians are perfect, but you notice Russia's never been part of Bilderberg. The globalists basically overthrew Russia with the communist movement to destabilize it. Russia's finally thrown that giant spider off its back, and the globalists are very upset with Russia.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, there have been statements on the record from top globalists over the past couple of years that, you know, quote, Russia is no longer in the New World Order and statements like that. So they want a unipolar world, whereas other countries, the BRICS countries, for example, want a multipolar world. And that tends to work out better for freedom, better for privacy. Of course, they have complete privacy inside this hotel, which is surrounded by a massive exclusion zone.
But we don't.
But we don't. We don't have any privacy. They're going to dig into our lives. They're going to dig into our emails. We think, yet they expect to get privacy every time they meet in secret for this lobbying confab, which is what it is, which is what Tillich admitted to us last night.
Right. Well, simply incredible, Paul. You guys are, this is the best job you've ever done. to all the crew, to our graphics people, to the people running the show, everybody, amazing job. Paul, we're going to go to break. I want to come back and do 2 quick segments with Rob Dew. Then I'm going to shift gears into Peter Schiff joining us on the huge developments in the economy, so important. And then we've got a very informed person, Tim Kennedy, coming here to talk about COG, talk about destabilization campaigns and more. Thank you, Paul. Joseph Watson, great job. In 20 seconds, anything else?
No, there's going to be a huge protest tomorrow, left versus right. There could be violence, there could be clashes, so we're going to be on top of that all day tomorrow.
Yeah, I really want you guys to stay back because I want to be able to get the full conference. I know Friday's a key day, but just please, I know you guys have a lot of fearlessness, but I just don't want you guys to get thrown into German jail. So please try to hang back, but I mean, don't get hit with rubber bullets like Jakari. I mean, or Biggs, because I think this is going to get pretty bad tomorrow.
Okay, we'll do that. And then Saturday, some of them like to go walkabout. So that might be an interesting angle to pursue in terms of getting more information out of actual...
Sure. Well, I want to salute everybody that's there. Godspeed, Paul. We'll talk to Rob Dew next. Briefly, folks, speaking of Hillary, criminal investigation being censored on Google searches, and that's been confirmed. Now they've backed off because they got caught. It's an ongoing battle, folks. Resistance and engagement is what defeats them. So don't think because they're always after us, we're losing. No, this is fun. It's like weightlifting. We're going to get stronger here. It's like jogging. We're going to get better. We give up, they win. We never give up, we win. And we become stronger and empowered and live in legend instead of living like jellyfish. Get your Hillary for Prison shirts. They hate this idea. We're so close. When we come back, Josh Earnest is, I'm going to play the clip, admitting, yeah, no, it's now criminal. They've tried to spin that. They tried to say it isn't. That means something big's about to happen, folks. Get your Hillary for Prison limited edition. When this shirt sells out, no more of this shirt. A new variant's going to come out, and that will be the final edition of these because, obviously she's going to go to prison or, next she's just going to be impeach Hillary if she gets elected president or indict Hillary or, pray for the fall of Hillary. I don't know. InfoWarsStore.com. They cannot censor you wearing a shirt out on the street, or it's much, 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 much harder than digital. They hate this. You meet like-minded people, other patriots, and the small profit we make helps fund this very expensive project that is sending in salvos every day that are devastating the world government project. And they just don't know what to do. Because the best laid plans of mice and men often go astray. And Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, and Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. This is a Kit Daniels article up on Infowars.com. You cannot make this up. Canada legalizes oral sex with pets. Sex offender acquitted by a bestiality involving peanut butter. Next, it'll be you're allowed to marry your pets, and next you'll have to have fire hydrants at the Alamo Drafthouse movie theaters or wherever your movie theaters are in case you think you're a dog. I'm not joking. Canada's Supreme Court has legalized oral sex with pets as long as no penetration is involved in a ruling slammed by Animal Rights Group. The 7-1 in favor ruling. That means Canada has legalized Bill Clinton having sex with Hillary Clinton. All right, a horrible joke meant for the media to pick it up. Go ahead, White House Media Matters. She's a war criminal killer. He's a sex offender, in my view. These are horrible perverts, and so I think it's fair to put them and all of their ilk into this joke. But I apologize to dogs or gerbils, for that matter, or cats or lizards, I guess. Any pet, turtles, into the same slugs into the same category as Herr Hitler. Briefly, they're trying to censor more and more. It's all over the news. We need to have an email to contact you for breaking news, analysis, videos, information, promo codes for the shopping cart. Infowars.com/newsletter. Go there, put in your emails. We can stay in contact with you. A lot of huge discounts we send to you as well. We had like 50% off on T-shirts just a few weeks ago for folks that were on there with a promo code. So really need to be a member of the InfoWars Insider newsletter at Infowars.com/newsletter. Separately, emails in Clinton probe dealt with planned drone strikes. Couldn't be more classified. And then meanwhile, Josh Earnest now admits it is a criminal investigation. That's coming up. But I wanted to also just remind everybody that we sold out of Living Defense I always end up plugging at the end of the hour. I'm going to stop doing this. I plug early because I run out of time. I realize I haven't plugged anything. And we fund our operation by selling these products, plus they're the very best we can bring you. Living Defense is like 20, almost 30 known organic ingredients that flush out parasites, harmful organism cleansing, 120 capsules. Check it out, InfoWarsLife.com. We ordered 3 times as much this time. Took us 6 months to get it because it has to pass California standards. We want to be the highest standards. That's almost impossible to do. And it's 25% off out of the gate, so it's selling out at a rate like 4 or 5 times what we thought. And so it'll be sold out by the middle of the end of next week. In fact, I may just raise the price back up to normal just so we don't sell out of it for 6 months. That'd be a better business decision to fund our operation. But right now, it's there at the discounted price, $34.95, 120 capsules, InfoWarsLife.com, or call toll-free 888-253-3139. I wonder if the government in Canada will legalize sex with parasites. Now, that would make it legal for Hillary and Bill to have Chelsea. But reportedly, Chelsea's Webster Hubbell's daughter, so what do you know? And, of course, Michelle Obama looks like a snapping turtle. So, but, you know, it's the fact that she eats all this great gourmet food and wants you to eat stuff worse than prisoner foods why I don't like Michelle Obama. And why is the First Lady telling us what to eat? We're going to break here in a moment and come back with Rob Dew. But, Rob, what are your observations? Doing a great job there in Dresden at the Bilderberg meeting, covering it. What are your observations the last 24 hours, my compadre?
Well, last night, right around dinner time, I got a text saying, hey, there's a chance for a confrontation for the governor of Saxony. So I grabbed all my stuff. I literally had flip-flops and a T-shirt on. I run down to where the church is, get my gear on. My friend Tillman was there with his camera. And immediately as he came out, we ambushed him, asking him questions about Bilderberg. I said, is it about bringing more migrants into Dresden? He didn't want to answer that. But before all that happened, our friend Max Bachman was able to get him inside and get him to admit basically everything we've been talking about. It's a giant money grab. That's what Bilderberg is, ways to funnel money.
A giant money grab that created the euro, wants to run our country. Stay there, back in 70 seconds, third hour straight ahead. Tim Kennedy and more. All right, let's go to Rob Dew, InfoWars Nightly News Director, reporter on the ground in Dresden. Go ahead and finish up your report, going out there and getting one of the Bilderberg members. This has been a devastating year for Bilderberg. They have got to be upset. And they are like cornered rats inside that facility, Rob.
Yeah, in fact, Paul and I talked about this today in another report. What is going to happen to this man now that he's kind of spilled the beans on Bilderberg? He was just getting into the kids' table. He will probably not be groomed for anything future, unlike what we saw with Bill Clinton and Tony Blair, both who were able to rise to prominence in world leadership after attending their respective Bilderberg meetings. Also, I want to talk about the young lady and man who were arrested for holding a cardboard sign, possessing bread, and a tent. Well, they were brought out to a park out a little ways from here and kept in the sun for hours, and they were spread-eagled the whole time. They had to sit spread-eagled, and anytime they tried to close their legs to get comfortable, they were told to bring them back open. The guy was punched and kicked several times. She was released, and even though she was being handcuffed and detained, they said she was never arrested. Then they took the man to jail. He finally got released early this morning.
Boy, these are real men.
For literally cardboard, bread, and a tent. And that's what it's come down to. We also went to the pizzeria where we got a tip about they wanted to have 24-hour access to this man's pizzeria, not even connected to the hotel. There's actually a road in between them, but they were also bringing furniture through there. We went and asked him about that. We had to go through a translator, and the guy looked at us and said, no comment. And he put his head down and walked away. So he obviously is hiding something. And finally, Lindsey Graham, as far as we know, has not appeared here at the meeting yet. We did call his office today, and they confirmed he would be going, and he was actually speaking on the Senate.
But he may be dressed as a woman, though, Rob. So
that's true. That's true. But we do plan on asking him, when we do see him, what are his plans to subvert a Trump presidency? Because he's crossing party lines, working with Democratic operatives that are here, the big financiers, and we're going to see what his plans are, and hopefully we can get a comment from him. I've already contacted
That's right.
his
well, and of course you got the big left-right battle coming up tomorrow. You've got Bilderberg likes to sneak out and walk around. What else are you looking for?
Well, those would be the main things. And also, we are searching for the migrant camps in the area. That's always an ongoing mission that we've been doing.
They try to hide them,
and, yeah, exactly. They do. And the Germans are very good at hiding them. They put them in nondescript buildings. We do know what their fencing looks like, the fencing they like to use in the company that puts it up. So
I haven't seen any drone footage yet. Is the drone operating properly?
The drone is operating properly, but here in Germany, with all the police crawling around, it is definitely a punishable offense by being arrested. So I don't know if we're going to get any drone footage at this time, but we do have
Well, yeah, don't
footage
do
of
it. It's
Wolf and-
illegal.